10 in the book?
Chapter 7.
10.
This is,
Chapter 7.
okay, we went to 7, but this time it'll be up even higher. But instead of discussing it today, I'm going to be out next Monday. My father's having surgery, so thank you. So I will be out on Monday. So Ruby, have you guys met Ruby? Ruby Orozco? She's the manager of the ELA department. She will do the class for me on Monday. So she's going to be giving you guys your quiz. It's a parts of speech quiz. Basically what you're going to do is come in, work on it. It's about 2.5 pages long. You can work even in groups because it's not really a test, it's a learning opportunity for you. It's basically a review quiz. At the end of the quiz, when the time is up, you're going to actually review it as a whole class anyway, and then just see how you did. So Ruby's going to do that, and then afterward, she's going to discuss the book from chapter 4, which is the last discussion we actually had, all the way through chapter 10. So if you will read through chapter 10 for Monday, Ruby will discuss all that with you guys. Remember to circle any words you don't know, look up things you don't know. What was your name?
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. Thank you for joining the class, by the way.
Thank you.
She's real good.
Good.
We appreciate her.
Good. So Gwendolyn had a really good idea. Was she downloaded the audio book that goes with it? Because sometimes in English the problem is pronunciation, trying to figure out what the word is. And then when you hear it, you're like, oh, I know that word. I just couldn't figure out how to read it. So that's a really good way to learn, is listen to the audiobook and follow along, and then you'll start recognizing the spelling and the sound that go with different words. So she'll be doing that, so please read through chapter 10 for next Monday. And don't stress about the quiz, it's mostly just in-class practice. It's not really graded or anything like that. So far, we started on capitalization rules the first week of class, so we'll keep coming back to that many times. Then we started on parts of speech. We separated our sentence into 2 parts. Can you tell me what the 2 parts of a sentence are?
Subject and predicate.
Very good. Subject and predicate. Most of the time, the subject is what part of speech?
A noun.
A noun or a pronoun. Very good. And the predicate is almost always a verb. Very good. So we talked a little bit about verbs. We'll do some review after we talk prepositions. We did some nouns, pronouns, a little bit on adjectives and adverbs. Again, remember, this is just an introduction. We're going to do this over and over many times. So now we were at the bottom of page 3 on the prepositions. Prepositions sometimes are a bit confusing, but because you see them all over this. Bless you. So we're going to do a little, can you guys see this okay? It's not too, okay. So prepositions are basically linking words. Sorry, Juanita, it just keeps getting closer and closer.
She usually sit back here anyway.
She's a go-getter. So, a preposition is a word, often a very short word, that expresses the relationship between 2 other nearby words. In the examples below, each preposition, and I highlighted them or bolded them, shows us the relationship between the word book and the word wizard. So basically we have our subject of the book, right? Then our preposition is about, and then the rest of the prepositional phrase is the wizard. The book about the wizard. So the word about is a preposition linking the information wizard to the book. It's just providing you more linking information. The second sample is the book by the wizard. The third is the book near the wizard, the book behind the wizard, the book under the wizard. That single prepositional word changes the entire meaning of that sentence, and everything else is the same. If I said the book about the wizard, what does that mean? The book is, the information in the book is about a wizard, right? There's a wizard in the book, that's the content of the book. What about the book by the wizard?
The name of the author.
Very good. A wizard wrote the book. It might be a book of spells. This book was written by a wizard.
Oh, wow.
And you can also, there's a kind of a different meaning a little bit with the book by the wizard. It can also be next to, right? It can, that word by can also be used as next to. I don't want this book. I want the book by Gwendolyn, next to Gwendolyn. The book near the wizard. Next to, it's right there next to him, it's near him. The book behind the wizard. And the book under the wizard. Maybe it's under the table, or maybe he's really short and he needs to sit on it. Make him taller. So that little preposition can change the whole meaning of the sentence and the information about the wizard and the book. Okay? The role of a preposition. A preposition always comes in front of a noun or a pronoun. Always. You won't find a verb or any other part of speech coming after a preposition. It always shows the relationship of another word in the sentence to that noun or pronoun that's coming after it. So in the samples we just looked at, the preposition coming before wizard told us how it related to the book, the word before it. So here are some more examples. It is a container for butter. So in this sentence, the first part of it is the container, right? If we have a bowl on the table, it's a container. And the preposition is for, and the word that it's providing information is butter. So what is the container for? It's for butter. So the preposition is linking butter and container and butter, right? And providing more information.
So the preposition is for.
Yes. So it's a little word that does a big job. So then we have the eagle soared above the clouds. Above is the preposition. And the clouds, what is the clouds linking to? The eagle or where they soared? Oh, it's where they soared. Were the eagles flying really low above the ground, or were they flying really high above the clouds? So in that case, the preposition, the clouds, is telling us, above the clouds, it's telling us where the eagles soared. Sorry, I keep moving. I do that a lot.
That's okay. I move with you.
Okay. Then we have, he is the president of the United States. The preposition is of, and it shows the relationship between the United States and the president. Because we could easily change the United States to Chile, and he could be the president of Chile. So it's always showing a relationship between something at the beginning of the sentence and the object of the preposition, that noun that's coming after. A good way to think about prepositions. When you're first learning about prepositions, it is useful to think about prepositions as anywhere a mouse can go. We talked a little bit about, you missed it, but there was a book we talked about last class called Anything a Squirrel Could Do to a Tree that was out in the 1950s that taught children prepositions. So a squirrel can go up the tree, down the tree, around the tree, behind the tree, near the tree. All of those things a squirrel can do to a tree. This one happens to talk about mice. A mouse can be on, near, behind, under, inside, on top of. This works because lots of prepositions show the relationship between two words by expressing their location relative to each other. Most of the time, that's what a preposition is doing, is telling you location. The word preposition comes from the idea of being positioned before something. Alright, so now, object of a preposition. The word or words that follow a preposition is called the object of a preposition. If there is a preposition, there will always be an object of the preposition. Remember, I told you a preposition always comes in front of a noun or pronoun. No other part of speech, and it never appears on its own. It will always be in a sentence. A preposition will always be part of a prepositional phrase. You won't just have a preposition all by itself, ever. The preposition in a sentence cannot exist by itself. In a sentence, it is always part of a prepositional phrase. So you would not have he went down. We might know the rest of this information in our head and not actually say it out loud. If you see someone going upstairs and downstairs, and I say, Adam, where did that man go? He can say, oh, he went down. But it's because he's leaving off the rest of the thought. He went down the stairs. So which way did he go? Down the stairs. So this is a preposition telling you some kind of relationship. And then the stairs is our object of the preposition. In a full sentence, you will never just have a preposition by itself. It will always have a noun or a pronoun afterward. Easily change the pattern of the sentence, right? What can we do to the preposition to change the direction he went? He went up the stairs. Quick, easy change. Completely change the information in the sentence. He didn't go down, he went up. So let's talk some more about a prepositional phrase. So our prepositional phrase is made up of two parts: our preposition and our object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases are very common. They typically appear at the end of the sentence. Not always, but that's their normal position, is at the end. They typically tell where something is, where it's going, or how it goes or got there. It's often related to something about location. And then they can function as either adjectives or adverbs. We talked a little bit about they can put on a mask and one day pretend to be an adverb, and another sentence pretend to be an adjective. I mean, adjectives or adverbs. Let me.
Oh my God.
They can pretend to be other things. All right. So first of all, let's do a quickie review. What do adjectives do?
take the place of describe a noun or pronoun.
Right, describe
A noun or
a
pronoun.
noun.
I don't know why I keep saying noun or pronoun, I don't know why.
That's okay. So they describe a noun. And then we have our adverbs. What do adverbs do?
They,
can
describe a noun or
or
pronoun.
change. Right? And we have
Modify
adjectives.
is change.
Modifier, change, adjectives, other adverbs. What else did we say?
Adjective, let's see. Verbs, adverbs,
Mm-hmm. They can modify verbs, adjectives.
and adverbs.
Uh-huh. And then there was one more. Whole sentences. Adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and whole sentences. And we had, does anybody remember? There were
Yeah.
4 uses.
Which one?
Uh-huh.
How many? What kind of who?
Which one, what kind, whose, started to write that twice, and how many. Very good. Which one, what kind, whose, how many. What about adverbs?
How, when, where,
Where,
and how often, and
why,
the amount.
how
Oh, well, to the
often,
extent.
very good. And,
To the extent you told us the amount. or something.
yes. Oops, is that one, this one is frequent. Frequent. And how much / amount or degree. That's what they tell you. It's okay. Cut off the end of my T there. You remember that I was telling you about, they have a little song that the kids learn and they do hand motions and stuff.
Uh-huh.
They have, when they sing the little song, they'll say, adjectives are which one, what kind, whose, how many, adverbs when, where, why, and how. So they do the how twice. Sounds like a little Indian, how often, how much.
Well, you gonna have to teach us that.
I'll just keep singing it at the end of class.
All
All right. So these prepositional phrases can do all of this stuff. That's a lot of work. I'm going to look at a few examples here. Oh, yeah. I was making sure we got them all. So adjectives, which one, what kind, whose, how many. Adverbs, when, why, where, how much, or how often. And then we had our examples on page 3. Prepositional phrases functions as either adjectives or adverbs. For example, it is a message from Mark. So the prepositional phrase is
From.
but the whole phrase. The preposition is from, but the whole phrase is from Mark. So what is Mark? Prepositional
Good
phrase is
enough.
2 parts. Prepositional phrase is always 2 parts in a sentence. Part 1 is the preposition. Part 2 is the object of the preposition. And that's what's giving you the additional information. More detail.
Okay, for one preposition.
Timer. So in our sentence, it is a message from Mark. Who is the message from? Mark. So our prepositional phrase is from Mark. The preposition is from. The object of the preposition is Mark. And this is always a noun or a pronoun. Always.
You said, the preposition always gonna come after a noun,
In front of.
in front of the noun?
Mhm.
Okay.
Always in front of a noun or a pronoun. Yes. So in the, it is a message from Mark. The from Mark, what is the from Mark talking about? What is from Mark?
The message.
The message. So the from Mark is talking about the message, right?
Yes.
So if it's describing or talking about our noun, message, is an adjective or an adverb? If it's talking about the noun.
It adds,
Adjective, right? Most of the time, if it's describing the noun, it's going to be our adjective. Is there noun over here?
no,
Nope.
I was trying to look.
It's not a small type. No noun. All right. Now in the second sentence, Mark is trapped on the island. So first of all, what is our preposition? On. Our object of the preposition?
The
The island. So the entire prepositional phrase is on the island. Very good. On the island. So is on the island talking about Mark? Is Mark? Or is it talking more about where he's trapped?
Come on, where he's trapped.
It's talking about where he's trapped. So it's talking about the verb trapped. So if it's talking about the verb, is it adjective or adverb? It's an adverb. So in sentence number 1, the prepositional phrase is acting like an adjective. It's got the adjective mask on. And in the second sentence, it is taking the place of an adverb. It's acting like an adverb, modifying the verb trapped.
Wow, let's see if our video will play.
I like this, so whatever the word is talking about, the noun, we'll see where, if it's an adjective or an adverb.
Mhm.
Depending on what they add.
actually go to the website. Fine. I'm stubborn. Now it's gonna be stuck there. There we go. Technical difficulties. That's the problem with embedded videos, they often give you text. Well, it says it's playing, but it obviously isn't.
So,
Yes, go ahead.
mostly every sentence has a preposition.
No.
Right?
No. It's kind of an add-on. You remember the two things a sentence has to have, right? Just a
Yeah, the
subject
subject.
and a predicate, right? So a preposition is just added on information like our frosting on the cake.
And it will always be at the end of the sentence.
Not always, but most of the
Well,
time.
most of the time.
Mhm. Yeah, it's mostly at the end. Let's try this now.
Like a butterfly or like a bee, like an ant as busy as can be. What? These little words we call the.
Okay, so the music's working and now not the picture.
We can close our eyes and just,
Just pretend.
cause my brain is running.
Now is it doing it?
If you
Okay.
turn it up, it'll play. Push play and turn it up.
Preposition.
See, it's on there.
Do most all of the work of to within preparation.
There we go.
Like a bee, like an ant as busy as can be. These little words we call the busy bee. Preposition. 9 or 10 of them do most all of the work of to within, from, by, for, at, over, across. And many others do their job, which is simply to connect their noun or pronoun object to some other word in the sentence. Busy bees, if you please. On the top is where you are. Place to where? With a friend you travel far. With a friend you go. If you try, you know that you can fly over the rainbow. Over the rainbow is where you can fly. Busy prepositions, always on the go. Like a bunch of busy bees, floating pollen on the breeze, buzzing over the meadows, beyond the forest, through the trees, into the beehive. Busy, busy bees. Busy prepositions, always out in front, on the edges, in the crack, around the corner, from the back, in between the action, stating clearly to your satisfaction the location and direction. Prepositions give specific information. The little words they are, they never stand alone. Gathering words behind them, you soon will see how they have grown into a parade. A prepositional phrase with a noun or at least a pronoun bringing up the rear. A little phrase of 2 or 3 or 4 or more words. Preposition, attention, forward march. Busy prepositions, always on the march. Like a horde of soldier ants, inching bravely forward on the slings. Just they might better their positions. Busy, busy prepositions. In the air, on the ground, everywhere. The sun sank lower in the west. In the west it sank. And it will rise in the morning and will bring the light of day. You'd say the sun comes up in the east every day. In the east it rises. Busy prepositions, busy, busy, busy. On the top is where you are. On the top. If you try, you know that you can fly. Fly where?
Nope, I don't want more. Alright. So in most of their examples, it was about where something was, the direction something was, where it was going.
I go,
Mm-hmm.
and,
So one last slide. Prepositions can be linked together to make very long sentences. You could go on and on and on and on with prepositions. So for our example, the boy ran down the street, through the park, over the bridge, under the statue, around the swing set, up the steps, and into his house. So first of all, you guys take a minute, and I want you to list the prepositional phrases you see there, and then see when we get done talking, when we get done working, we'll talk and see which one is the preposition, which one the object, and kind of what purpose it's serving.
You want to start from an example?
Yeah, just use the example sentence and find all the prepositional phrases.
I got 7 of them, how many do you live it up? So far, you know.
Perfect. There are 7.
Now, on my, what is that prepositional phrase?
Mm-hmm. So before we get to the prepositions, let's talk about the very first part of our sentence. What is the very first word in the sentence?
The
The. And what part of speech is the?
article,
It's an article. The is an article. Then what about boy?
a noun,
He's a noun. Is he a common noun or a proper noun?
a common noun.
Common, because we don't say J, his name. We just say the boy. It's a common noun. What is our verb?